Dr. Webb is with us here today. How are you doing?
I'm very well, and you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Now, you've got a new book which you've just released called Steve. So, what is the basic idea of that book, first of all?
The basic idea of Steve is it's about a homeless couple and their journey to become more
Yeah.
and get out of their situation and the people they meet.
Yeah. And what inspired you to have a story about homelessness?
Uh, I think it doesn't matter what town or city you go to in the UK, it just seems to be homeless people, and
Mm.
it's dreadful. A lot of these people do have issues,
Mm.
but there's no way the government's doing enough about it.
Yeah.
Nowhere near. So that's one of the main reasons. I think it was about a homeless couple.
Yeah, and it just seems as if homeless people have been forgotten about. We've maybe just accepted that people are homeless now, and it never really gets talked about as much as it should.
Yeah, totally right. It's especially with like a lot of people do have, like I say, issues. They're just not being helped, and
Yeah,
it's just absolute madness.
yeah.
So yeah,
So I guess this book is perhaps your way of raising awareness about homelessness, do you think?
well, I hope it helps.
Yeah,
That's all we can hope for, isn't it? So
yeah.
yeah.
And how did you first start to get into writing then?
So I first started writing about 10 years ago. I was going through some of my own issues with depression, and I stopped taking drugs, and I wasn't doing very well, to be fair. So a bit of an escape. I started writing.
Yeah. And is writing quite a good escape because you can have something to focus on, I suppose?
Exactly. Yeah, you can lose yourself in the world you're creating.
Yeah.
It can be amazing, but also it can be dark. But I think it can help the situation you're in if you just get it down on paper.
Yeah, it can be quite cathartic because I guess have a lot of the issues that you've went through, have you kind of put that in your books?
Yeah, a few of my issues are in the books. Plus, uh, there's so many bad things that people can go through.
Yeah.
If we can raise awareness for some of them, again, it's going to be a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's for sure. And you're also dyslexic. Does that make things harder to be able to write?
It makes it incredibly hard to write.
Yeah.
And I think it took me longer to type it out the first time than write it down.
Oh,
But then when you can't read the words you've written down, it's, when spell check comes up and you don't know what it says. So it's very difficult.
yeah.
It's something you can get over. There is, like nowadays, you can just talk into Google and ask
Mm.
how words are spelt, can't you? Which is a massive help.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, did you just figure out how to do it yourself and not require any help? You just sort of went for it.
I've had help editing and such, because apparently I don't know what grammar is at all.
Mm.
So that's been added and put in,
Yeah.
and again, spelling. But most of it's been done myself.
Yeah. So, how easy is it to write about difficult subjects then? Is that something you find easy or hard?
Again, I think it's good to get down on paper, but it's
Mm.
if you just stop doing drugs and then you're writing about it again, it's makes you think about it again, so it's difficult. So yeah, I think that's a bit of a catch-22, to be fair.
Yeah. And this last year during lockdown, have you found you've had a little bit more time to work on the book, or being a key worker, have you still basically had the same routine?
I've had more hours than ever.
Yeah.
I've been working in a supermarket, but yeah, we found time to do it because there's nothing being open when you're off.
Yeah.
So you can. That's the main thing, isn't it? There was nowhere to go when you are off. So that's when hobbies, if you like, have come into play a bit more.
Yeah, because the only place open that you could actually go to is your work, and you'd already spent enough time there, presumably.
Exactly.
Yeah. And when you're not writing, do you have any fun things that you get up to in your spare time?
Oh, it's only the usual, watching football. I think
Mm.
my playing football days are well behind me.
Oh
um,
yeah,
watch a bit of sport on TV, boxing, golf, cricket, anything really.
yeah.
Love watching my films and Netflix and Amazon and stuff like that nowadays is a saviour, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And all the sport seems to be back at the moment, and cinemas are open again, so it's a great time to like to watch all that.
Yeah, exactly. Get back out in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And how much do you feel your own experiences have influenced your writing?
But it's just you take little bits of yourself, and that's what you put into your work. I would only just say 30%
Mhm.
is I can really, really relate to.
Yeah,
But that's what you do. You do put a bit of yourself into your work, I think.
yeah. And do you find that you're not really intending to do that? It just sort of happens.
Yeah, I think so. It's always say write what you know sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then when you think of something else, then, it just gathers memento and just gets bigger and bigger.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And how long did the book, Steve, actually take to write from start to finish?
Well, it's been about 10 years in the making.
Wow.
Yeah, it's taken a while.
Yeah. So I take it, are you quite the perfectionist wanting to get it finished, or was it just maybe still the dyslexia getting in the way or finding the time?
I've got the final edit back and it's all ready to go.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
When you start something, because it was in a drawer for quite a few years,
Yeah.
like it was a bit of escapism, but yeah, it's happened and I'm pleased, excited. It is amazing.
Yeah, that's for sure. And a proportion of the sales from the ebook are going to charity as well, right?
Yes. Yeah, decided to give some to Mind, which is a mental health charity.
Yeah.
Mental health is such a big issue. I think it's always been a big issue, but it's not being talked about like it is now.
Yeah.
Depression, anxiety, I think it's still the biggest killer of men under 45, I think.
Yes, that's true, I think.
Absolutely insane. And it's hard to talk about and people don't want to talk about it, but we need to.
Yeah.
And as soon as you talk about things, it does get better. I can't stress that enough to anyone. And also we're going to give some to Shelter, homeless charity. Yeah.
Ah, nice. So it's two very important charities there.
If it makes a little bit of difference to one or two people, that's so important, isn't it?
Yeah, that's definitely true. And even from just reading the book, people will find stuff, mental health things that they relate to and realise that they're not alone.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It can be such a lonely, dark, horrible place. And yeah, if somebody can relate to it, I'm not the only one. Again, so important.
Yeah. And when you first met your partner a few years ago, you didn't really share your work first off, and it took you a bit of confidence to open up about your writing. Why do you think that was?
Well, build trust, don't you? So I got the confidence to show him. He's a little bookworm, and he goes, "Oh, you think you might have something here?" And I was like, "Oh, really?" I didn't really believe in myself.
Yeah.
But he's definitely proved me wrong.
That's for sure.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it sounds like it's got great potential.
Thank you.
And the book being about two homeless people, why did you decide to call it Steve simply and just the one person?
Originally, it was going to be based on C6 Steve.
Ah.
And that's the very first draft was more about him.
Yeah.
So that's why we ended it just Steve.
Yeah, that's certainly interesting. Well, do you have any more books after this one that you're thinking of writing or have already started, maybe?
There's quite a few notebooks knocking about still.
Yeah.
But there's also first draft of the second novel, Steph.
Ah.
This also deals with some grittier subjects.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be December-ish time. Honestly, it does need a bit of work, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
and we look forward to that.
Thank you very much.
But in the meantime, where are we able to check out the book, Steve, and buy it?
So it's order on Amazon, and it's out.
And are you yourself on any kind of social media or have a website where we can keep up to date with you?
Yep.
You can check my website at drweb.co.uk, or you can catch me on social media at realdrweb.
Great. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show today. It's been great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much for talking to me. It's been a pleasure.